Your teeth are chattering, your skin's on fire, and you swear your brain is melting at 103. We've all been there, right? That dizzying, disorienting battle against an invisible enemy. But here's the wild twist: every shiver, every bead of sweat, every ache isn't a sign of your body failing. No. It's actually your own body sounding the alarm, then launching a calculated, scorched earth campaign against a microscopic invader. Tonight, we're shrinking down, slipping between your blood cells, and watching the whole epic battle unfold from the inside. Prepare for a biological blockbuster. It all kicks off with something tiny, a single bacterium. Let's call it B. Maybe it hitchhikes on a sneeze, a cough, or just lingers on a doorknob. B lands in your throat, a perfect warm, moist environment. It brushes past the cilia, those tiny, hair-like structures meant to sweep intruders away like microscopic brooms. But B is persistent. Within minutes, it's docked onto the welcoming lining of your respiratory tract and has begun dividing, replicating itself every 20 minutes or so. You don't feel a thing yet, no cough, no sniffle, just business as usual. But your body's internal security system is already on alert. Patrol cells, known as macrophages, are constantly cruising the neighborhood. They're like the beat cops of your immune system, and they quickly notice B's unfamiliar proteins. These aren't native cells. Immediately, they whip out their version of a flare gun, tiny messenger molecules called cytokines. We're talking about the heavy hitters here: interleukin-1 IL-1, interleukin-6 IL-6, and tumor necrosis factor TNF. These aren't just random signals, they're urgent dispatches. These cytokines race through the tissue, hitch a ride into your bloodstream, and rocket north straight to headquarters, the hypothalamus, your brain's master thermostat. Normally, your hypothalamus is a meticulous housekeeper, keeping your core temperature parked precisely at 37 Celsius for those of us on the Fahrenheit scale. It's a finely tuned system, maintaining that perfect balance. But when those cytokine messengers arrive, it's like an emergency broadcast. They don't directly change the temperature. Instead, they convince local cells in the hypothalamus to produce a powerful lipid compound called prostaglandin E2, or PGE2. This PGE2 is the real game changer. It binds to specific receptors on neurons in the hypothalamus, effectively flipping the set point upward to, say, from 37C to a new, elevated target of 39C. That 2-degree nudge, though it sounds small, is the difference between feeling comfortable and feeling like you're cooking from the inside out. Your body now treats this new, higher temperature as its urgent target. Suddenly, you feel Arctic cold, even though your actual body temperature might still be perfectly normal. Why? Because your brain now believes you're 2 degrees too low, and it's freaking out. Muscles start shivering uncontrollably, generating heat. Tiny blood vessels beneath your skin squeeze tight, a process called vasoconstriction, to prevent heat from escaping. And those brown fat furnaces, especially active in infants but still present in adults, igniting your shoulders and neck, burning calories to generate warmth. In minutes, you're wrapped in blankets, teeth clicking like castanets, yet the mercury on the thermometer is inexorably climbing. Your body is doing everything it can to reach that new, higher set point. While you're shivering your way to a higher temperature, your macrophages aren't done. They're throwing their second party, releasing even more cytokines. These signals don't just stop at the hypothalamus, they turbocharge the white blood cells already stationed in your lymph nodes, those critical immune outposts. T cells, the specialized assassins of your immune system, wake up and begin to proliferate. B cells, your antibody factories, kick into high gear, starting the complex process of producing specific antibodies to neutralize the invader. Meanwhile, neutrophils, the first responders of the innate immune system, roll along blood vessel walls like police cruisers scanning for trouble, ready to leap into action. Here's where the fever range heat really shines. It actually speeds up this cellular traffic. Experiments have shown that leukocytes, your white blood cells, crawl about 30% faster at 39 Celsius than they do at 37C. This means they can squeeze through gaps in vessel walls and reach infected tissue much sooner, getting to the battlefront quicker. But that's not all. The elevated temperature also makes bacterial membranes wobbly and less stable, slowing down their replication and making them more vulnerable. This buys your immune cells precious time to mount a full-scale attack. It's like turning up the heat in a kitchen to cook faster, but in this case, the food is the invading pathogen. Nothing in biology is free, and fighting a fever is no exception. Each extra degree Celsius your body maintains raises your basal metabolic rate by about 12%. Think about that: your body is working overtime, burning through energy reserves at an accelerated pace. Your heart pounds faster, trying to pump vital resources to every cell. Oxygen consumption jumps significantly, as your cells demand more fuel for their height and activity. And here's a clever trick: your body switches from primarily burning glucose, a favorite fuel source for many bacteria, to torching fat and muscle protein. This metabolic shift essentially starves the pathogens of their preferred energy source while providing your immune cells with the fuel they need. However, this strategic move comes with a cost. That breakdown of muscle protein is why you feel so achy and weak. The increased metabolic activity and cellular stress also contribute to that foggy, disoriented feeling in your brain. Dehydration becomes a serious concern too, because every exhale carries away extra water, and your body is trying to dissipate heat through increased perspiration. Even if you don't feel like you're sweating yet. Kids, with their less mature thermoregulatory systems, sometimes spike fevers of 40°C within an hour, a rapid ascent that can be alarming. Adults usually climb more slowly, but the toll is the same: a pounding headache, profound weakness, and that weird, hollowed-out appetite. It's a full-body workout just to stay hot. Most fevers are like a controlled burn, topping out under 40 Celsius and self-correcting once the bug is beaten. They're effective and generally safe. But if the set point keeps rising, if that internal thermostat gets stuck too high above roughly 41°C, things can get dangerous. At these extreme temperatures, your body's own cells can start to melt their machinery. Proteins, which are essential for every cellular function, begin to unfold and lose their shape, a process called denaturation. Ion pumps, critical for maintaining cell integrity and nerve function, can fail. Organs can swell as fluid balance is disrupted. The delicate gut barrier, usually a tight shield, can loosen, letting bacterial toxins slip into the bloodstream, triggering widespread inflammation and potentially sepsis. Your heart rate can double, putting immense stress on the cardiovascular system, especially risky for anyone with underlying coronary disease. In kids, rapid temperature climbs, even if not extremely high, can sometimes trigger febrile seizures. These are scary to witness. A child might convulse or lose consciousness, but they are rarely harmful in the long term. Their developing neurons simply fire faster and more erratically in the heat before the brain has adapted to the new temperature. It's a stark reminder that while fever is a powerful weapon, there's a fine line between effective defense and self-inflicted damage. Eventually, your adaptive immune system, now fully mobilized and highly specific, corners the microbe. More antibodies tag the invaders, marking them for destruction. Complement proteins, another part of your immune arsenal, poke holes in the bacterial membranes. And those eager phagocytes, literally cell eaters, gobble up the remains, cleaning up the battlefield. As the threat diminishes, the levels of those initial cytokine messengers fall. The production of prostaglandin slows down, signaling to the hypothalamus that the emergency is over. The brain's thermostat drops its set point back to the normal 37°C. Now, you're the opposite of colds. Your body needs to shed all that accumulated heat. Your blood vessels dilate, flushing blood closer to the surface of your skin. Sweat pours, evaporating from your damp skin and carrying away the excess heat. Parents often say, the fever broke, but it's really just your body's sophisticated thermostat resetting itself. If you popped an ibuprofen or acetaminophen earlier, those drugs work by blocking COX enzymes, which are critical for producing prostaglandin E2. By slashing PGE2 production, they effectively force the same thermostat reset, reducing your temperature and soothing your symptoms. However, there's a trade-off. By lowering the fever, you might slightly delay the full activation and antibody formation of your immune system. which is why many doctors don't rush to treat every low-grade fever. It's a careful balance between comfort and letting your body do its best work. So, the big question, when do you let your body cook, and when do you intervene? For healthy adults, a fever between 38 to 39 Celsius is usually safe and often, as we've seen, quite helpful. Kids can often run hotter without immediate panic, sometimes reaching 40 Celsius with common viral infections. However, infants under 3 months with any fever need rapid medical evaluation. Their immune systems are still developing, and even a mild fever can signal something serious. Elderly individuals, pregnant people, or anyone who is immune-suppressed perhaps due to medication or illness should take even modest temperature spikes seriously and consult a doctor. Regardless of who you are, hydration is non-negotiable. Small, frequent sips of water, broth, or electrolyte solutions beat big, gulping chugs. Light clothing and a tepid, not cold room help your body dissipate heat naturally. Lukewarm baths can also be effective by gently drawing heat away from the skin. But here's a crucial point: ice packs or ice-cold baths can actually backfire. The sudden cold triggers your blood vessels to clamp down even tighter, trapping heat inside and potentially making you feel even worse, prolonging the fever. It's about gentle assistance, not shock therapy. Drop your strangest fever experience in the comments. Ever had numbers so high you question the thermometer? Or perhaps a fever dream so vivid it felt real? I read every story and pin the wildest ones. Here's the really cool part: the evolutionary genius behind this whole fiery ordeal. The T cells that mature and get educated during a fever remember the invader better. It's like they go through a tougher training camp. Studies, particularly in mice, have shown that these fever-forged T cells and their offspring mount significantly stronger immune responses, as sometimes 3 times as powerful weeks, even months, later. In a way, the fire of fever forges sharper, more effective weapons for your future defense. So, that miserable night spent shivering and sweating might actually spare you a second, more severe round with the same pathogen down the line. Evolution, in its infinite wisdom, seems to have gambled that a day or two of metabolic chaos and discomfort outweighs the long-term risk of letting microbes settle permanently and cause chronic or recurrent issues. It's a short-term pain for long-term gain strategy, etched into our very biology. Alright, let's tackle some common fever myths, shall we? Feed a fever, starve a cold. Nope, just feed both. Your body, especially your immune system, needs calories to fuel lymphocyte division and antibody production, whether you have a fever or a cold. Depriving yourself of food is counterproductive. Cold baths prevent brain damage only if the temperature is dangerously high, above 41 Celsius and rising fast, and under medical supervision. Otherwise, comfort is king. A lukewarm bath is fine, but a cold one can make you shiver more and actually raise your core temp. Teething causes fever. Maybe a tiny bump in temperature, but not a raging 39°C fever. Blame the virus that likely wandered in while your baby was gnawing on that plastic giraffe, exploring the world with their mouth. And yes, vaccines can cause a mild fever. That's not the disease itself, it's your immune army drilling, practicing its moves against a weakened or partial opponent, preparing for the real thing. It's a sign your body is learning, not failing. If this changed how you think about thermometers, about that internal battle raging within, then smash the like button. It keeps the algorithm from getting cold feet and helps us share more fascinating science. So, a fever isn't a malfunction, it's not some random glitch in your system. Instead, it's a tightly scripted, ancient offensive, honed over hundreds of millions of years of evolution. From the first cytokine flare signaling an invasion to the final sweat-soaked pillow marking its retreat, every degree, every shiver, every ache is your brain choosing to scorch the battlefield. It's a deliberate strategy to make your immune troops fight smarter, faster, and with better memory for next time. It's a testament to your body's incredible resilience. So, next time the mercury climbs, respect the heat, watch for those danger signs. And remember, you ray not just enduring a fever, you ray witnessing a masterpiece of biological warfare unfolding with in you. Stay curious, stay hydrated, and I'll see you inside the next microscopic adventure.